Levack Goz here with you on 104.5 The Team, and joining us now, Syracuse's own, Saratoga's own, whichever way you want to sort it out, Jenna Cottrell from Rochester 13, Buffalo Bill insider. And Jenna, the move yesterday, Tyrod Taylor goes to the bench. Nathan Peterman now named a starting quarterback. Why did Tyrod Taylor get benched as a starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills?
First of all, the shock is still wearing off, let's be real. Tyrod has been a starter there for 2.5 years. He's been in the league for 7. That's the thing. Head coach Sean McDermott for the Bills saying that he wants this team to be better than 5-4. He wants to figure out if he has a franchise guy in Nathan Peterman. Now, he didn't think that was the case in Tyrod Taylor, so he decided to make the move with 7 games left in the season to figure out, is Peterman the guy for Buffalo moving forward?
Was this just strictly Sean McDermott's move, Brandon Beane's move, Terry Pegula? How high did this decision go up in the franchise?
So, this is not shocking that Sean McDermott said that this was his move. I know he said that he's worked in conjunction with the general manager, Brandon Beane. But I think as he's kind of been like this the whole entire way along, he says, this is my decision. You can take I'm going to take the responsibility, and therefore I'm going to take the blame if this does not work out. So I was happy about the fact that he was taking the responsibility and saying, this was my decision. I was the one that made that. Because I think part one of that is the fact that it's not the whole coaching staff was in on this, and maybe the players could feel a little bit upset at the entire coaching staff. I think they have a lot of trust in Sean McDermott. He's made bold moves before. He traded away Sammy Watkins. He traded away Marcel Darius. He was able to bring in Kelvin Benjamin. He's made moves before that makes his team believe in him. So the fact that he decided to make this decision, I think, and put it all on himself makes sense because the team can trust, okay, Sean knows what he's doing. I might not get it, but I'll trust it.
So you were there yesterday. Did it have any bit of a different feel in comparison to other practices of this past season?
Oh, my. So first of all, Sean McDermott is a very regimented guy. He runs his press conferences the exact same way. So he'll start and he'll say the injury report, and then he'll say, any questions? So yesterday he comes to the podium, he's listing his injury report, and then there's this long pause and him taking in a deep breath, and everyone kind of looked at each other, and then he starts saying, we're always trying to improve our team, and with that I've made the decision to start Nathan Peterman at quarterback. And it was a gasp across the entire media room. It was and then it was just furious keyboards. It was wild. So no one really saw this coming because it was a situation where we thought this move would happen, but we really thought, because the Bills are technically in a playoff hunt, we really thought that this move wouldn't happen till later on, till in December when the Bills played the Colts, because it was that's a home game, it's the Colts, without Andrew Luck. So no one really was seeing this coming. And then in practice yesterday, it was just a little strange seeing the guys out there because, Tyrod has been the starter for 2.5 years. There's a lot of guys that have played for him for that amount of time. He has their trust. He's been the one that's been calling the shots. So it was weird seeing him not calling the shots and seeing the guys obviously still respect Nathan Peterman and, doing what he says. But it was just a funky kind of vibe because, these guys are friends with one another. And it's just, how would you feel if your best friend was, demoted and you're supposed to just like this other guy? So it was kind of weird. But, it's a professional organization, and they have to take it like that.
Saratoga native Jenna Cottrell joined us right here, Rochester 13 on 104.5 The Team. So we see that move, and it is definitely a strange dynamic where they're in the playoff hunt right now, but he loses the job, and you turn to a rookie quarterback. I guess we got to get to this question. Is Peterman ready? Is he good enough to keep this Bills team on pace to get back to the playoffs?
I think that Sean McDermott would love to end the playoff drought this year. I think he's a head coach that in his first year to be able to end that 17 years of misery for Buffalo fans would be incredible. But he literally said yesterday, I want to be better than 5-4. I don't think he's looking at the short-term success of finding out if this team can make the playoffs this year. I really think he wants more. He doesn't want to make the playoffs. He wants to win a Super Bowl. And he has that vision that's looking down the field farther than we all are. I think that's how it is, and I think it's a decision that he made because he wanted to see, there's been plenty of coaches that have been fired in Buffalo. It's because, A, they don't win, and B, they don't find the franchise guy. He knows that he needs to find the franchise guy. That is the key to him and Brandon Beane staying and establishing their dynasty in Buffalo. So I think, there's 7 games left in the season. kind of a weird time. You're playing in LA against a Chargers team, whatever. Here's the thing. I think you decided, if I'm going to make this move, I'm going to make it now, because this sets off what you need to do in the offseason. They have 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. If they need leverage to go up and get a quarterback, they have it. But they need to see what they have right now in their 5th-round draft pick.
We wait and see if he's the future of this team now.
I mean, I don't know. I think this is crazy. I'm still trying to digest it, but I really feel like this is a move that shows how serious and how bold Sean McDermott is, and he wants it to be his system. He wants it to be his guys, and he wants to make sure that he's making and being thorough in his decision-making and having the right guy in Buffalo. He gave Tyrod Taylor plenty of time to establish if he would be the quarterback moving forward, and I think he isn't. I mean, I think Tyrod is a very talented guy. I don't think he fits in well with Rick Dennison's system as an offensive coordinator. I don't think that fits him well. But at the same point, I think that Sean McDermott knows, okay, something's got to give. We need to figure out what we're doing, and we're going to do it now. So
we turn our attention to this Sunday matchup against the Chargers, and there's that storyline there that the head coach for the Los Angeles Chargers is a former Bills assistant. Anthony Lynn, has there been any, I wouldn't say trash talk, but any bit of Lynn knows this about our system, or we're looking forward to going up against him this Sunday?
Honestly, it's been so foreshadowed by this move. And some people, I mean, there's like conspiracy theorists out there saying that this is a one-game move because Anthony Lynn was the offensive coordinator last year for the Bills before being, promoted to interim head coach. He knows the ins and outs of Tyrod. Who better to shut down Tyrod than a coach that's been with him? You know what I mean?
Right.
So some people are saying, hey, this is going to be a one-time thing. Like, this is what we think. I think Nathan Peterman will be the starter for weeks to come. But, I mean, it's been so downplayed that they're going out and visiting Anthony Lynn. This regime for the Bills has changed over so much, even in a year. I mean, Rex is gone. Doug Whaley's gone, their former general manager. Obviously, Anthony Lynn has found a different landing spot. I think there was just so much shock yesterday. And, the players found out basically at the same point the media did, and therefore the rest of the nation did. So I think there was just still so much shock and surprise that whole narrative of, facing off against Anthony Lynn was pretty much downplayed.
Jenna Cottrell joins us, Rochester 13, right here on Levack Goz on 104.5 The Team. You brought this up earlier in the interview, all the moves that Sean McDermott made. And I'm with you. I was surprised the Tyrod Taylor move happened when it did. So I guess I have to ask this. Do we have any more surprises left for Sean McDermott this season? What else could he do?
Some days I walk into work and I'm like, I have no idea what's going to happen, because I think he has made it very clear that he wants guys to fit his system. He wants guys that are fit like his mold. I think that's why the Sammy trade was wild, Sammy Watkins, because he's your number one receiver. Who else did you have as a receiver? But I think that Sammy had a dynamic that Sean McDermott wasn't into. Maybe he was, some might say, a diva. That's other people's words. But maybe it was that. He wasn't all about team. Marcel Darius, we've seen in the past, struggle with the idea of, A, staying on the field for not violating NFL policies, and B, he's a guy that kind of effort-wise wasn't really putting it in. So I think this Tyrod thing, too, is maybe he doesn't fit the scheme. Now, Tyrod's a great guy. He's a great teammate. He will hear his teammates talk in length about how hard of a worker he is, how great of a guy he is to work with, and all those things. But I think McDermott is saying, hey, we want the guys to fit our scheme. We want the guys that we specifically pick to be on the field. And if you're not that, we're going to try and get some trade bait out of you, because this team, they're clearly trying to build for the future in Buffalo. All
right, Jenna, dust off a crystal ball here. Tell us what happens on Sunday. How does Peterman play, and can the Bills win their 6th game of the season out on the West Coast?
I want him to do well. I do. Because, they're putting him to the fire, and you hope that he rises to the occasion. He's a 23-year-old. You don't want to ruin his confidence. I think the Bills are coming off 2, back-to-back blowout, embarrassing. Last week against the Saints was a historically bad performance. I think things have got to change. I think the Bills know that is the case. They've been embarrassed. Nobody likes to be embarrassed. You know what I mean? I think that they've realized that. I think the team plays well. I think the offensive and defensive lines really need to step up, because especially when you have a rookie out there, the offensive line needs to stand. They need to be able to give him time in the pocket. So I think everyone, it's like when you were playing in maybe like middle school or high school, and like the person who was subbed in was like really new, like everyone else felt like they had to step up their game to kind of protect. Like if you were, I used to play soccer, and I remember one time like the backup goalie came in. It was like, all right, we can't let the ball get back there because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't want to happen. Now, obviously, Nathan Peterman is a way more capable guy. That's why he's getting into this position. But at the same point, I think naturally you're like, okay, you need to protect him a little bit. Like we know people are going to be trying to get after him. We have to make sure that he's settled and has a little bit of time. Even
though she's out in Rochester now for Channel 13, Syracuse claims her as her own. The Capital Region claims her as her own. We appreciate you spending some time with us here in the Capital Region. Jenna Cottrell, best of luck, Jenna. We'll talk to you again later on in the football season.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.